Hey everyone, welcome in. This is Julie Max and the Main Stamper. I'm here for Thursday at 3, and it is 3 o'clock, so I'm really excited to be promptly on time today. Now, let us hope and pray that I can also create this card wonderfully for you without any Thursday troubles. Thursdays have been plaguing me. If you watch my Thursday at 3, I'm usually doing a fun fold, and they're easier fun folds because fun folds can be really tricky. Craft math, super hard, right? So I take really simple, beautiful fun folds like this one, and I try to not struggle. And I have a feeling we've got 2 ribbons here today. We're going to see if we can do this together, right? So this is our fun fold today. I'm calling this the Top Gate Fun Fold card. This is a gatefold, so we all know what a gatefold is. Maybe you don't know what a gatefold is, but this is a top fold. So we've got this in portrait position. A lot of times our gatefolds are in landscape position and each of the doors opens, kind of like barn doors. This one is a little bit different, and if you can see, there's a little flappy here. This is attached to the front, so it's going to open like this, and then the bottom is going to open like this. So this is our gatefold, but it's a little bit trickier. And very pretty in yellow, isn't it? I hope you guys love this card. I'm super excited to bring this to you. Hi Jess, thanks for letting me know I'm good. Hi Sandra, I'm glad you love it. And Jackie, hi. I know, more fun folds, right? I am so excited to share the story of this fun fold. So let's get over to my workspace. We got some stuff to do today. I'm gonna change you over right now. Okay, fun fold time. Oh, and I apologize. This card recipe will be hitting your inbox soon. If you're on my email newsletter list, I did not get it out this morning. It will be coming. So you'll have this card recipe if you're on my email newsletter list. I'm going to use this today to create this card because we do have some scoring and we have some tricky things about this card. Now, where I got my inspiration from is actually the Stampin' Up! Catalog. So I don't know if you can see any similarities. Now, I realize this is a very pale picture right here. I'm on page 41 of the annual catalog. This right here is a design that Stampin' Up! Artisans put on a little box. This is like a little box. Super cute. And I wanted to put it on a card. Now, I could have put it on a card in the landscape, just like this, right? I could have made this the landscape, but I wanted to do a fun fold. And what I did was I checked out Pinterest, because that's where I go for my fun fold ideas. And I looked at some fun folds and I just found something that would work perfectly. So this actually works just so beautifully with our card. Now I've got this little hi friend here, this little heart, and I thought that my heart will always be tied to yours. Inside sentiment, perfect combination. I love when the inside and outside sentiments work so nicely together, and these sentiments are coming from Wonderful Thoughts. We have been working with them this week. I did a whole Monday class on Wonderful Thoughts. I think every Monday should be Wonderful Thoughts, but we also have the Wonderful Thoughts dies, and you're going to see right here that this little heart is missing. It's actually in my cup because I'm going to be using that. But this little heart comes right from this this whole set. Now, I did not die cut out the word hi friend. I could have, so I just stamped it on the heart, and it just fits perfectly. There's actually a couple, thanks and hello will also fit on this little heart because they're very small stamps as well. So just to review, we made some really awesome cards. These were our, so again, hearts right here. And did I do this in a color swap? I did. So you guys were voting a little bit, purple and blue, which team you were on. So again, I've used the hearts here. These were cards from Monday's class. We've got this one right here. I'm talking about this one a little bit on Facebook today. And then we had the one that we began with. So a lot of these were background masked techniques. And part of that is from the card class that I did on Monday. So if you missed that class, make sure you're checking it out. There were some really great things there. All right, let's move aside things that we do not need and try not to lose the things we do need. So today, our paper comes from Inked Botanicals. This is a really awesome little 6x6 pack. It has some beautiful, more pastel, more subtle color paper in it, although the crushed curry is very, very prominent, and crushed curry we know is a regal. So we've mixed in, some things that are considered subtles and regals. Love this paper pack, and we're going to use a couple of designs from it. So this is a very yellow card. So my friends who love yellow cards, I hope you are enjoying this look at yellow. Now we've got our cardstock cut in the hot dog position. So this is the 4 1/4 by 11. We're actually going to score it. I need to move my scoring tool down so you can see. We're going to score this in 2 places, and I have to read my directions. We are scoring it at 2 3/4. Let me put it in here. We're going to score it 2 3/4. And then we're going to score it. I'm going to open the arm up because we're going to score it at 8 1/4. This is creating our gatefold. So 8 1/4, just making sure again, like what? Measure twice, score once. We're going to apply that rule today. Measure twice, score once. I think I'm done with that. And I need to be reminded to show you a sneak peek of the July Card Maker Collective Club kit, because I see my cards sitting off to the side and I keep forgetting to show them and share them with you. So with my score lines right here, I'm just bringing this together to create the gatefold. And I'm going to just make sure they line up exactly how I want them to. And I'm going to bring in my bone folder and just push these down, make sure that they line up nicely, which they're doing really well. So I scored really nicely. So here's the traditional gatefold would open like this. So you can see like they're like gate doors, right? We're putting ours in a different, the portrait position, totally different. Most people are not making a gatefold this way. So we're being very clever and unique. Now let's talk about these really great panels that we're gonna emboss for our card, the top and bottom. And I'm actually bringing in the Painted Posies embossing folder. And I didn't do this part on purpose because I wanted to share how cool this is. The design has some white space or some blank space or some unembossing space at the top. And when you put in 2 pieces, as I'm going to do, and I'm going to kind of line them up side by side here. So as I emboss these, I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's going to be some spaces that are not going to be completely embossed. So let me bring in my machine real quick. I know Thursdays at 3 I try to be a little bit quicker, but this was really kind of an important thing to show you and how cool it is when you split your panels that you have embossed. So we're just going to crank that through real quick. This is a 3D embossing folder, so I do use plate number, does it even say on here? It does. Plate number 4 is our specialty plate, along with the base plate, and that's for the thicker embossing folders. So as I bring this up, you can see that if I put it together, it's one unit, right? One piece. And as I separate them on my card, it just gives it a flow. But at the top here, we have some space that has not been embossed. I thought that was really cool and clever. It also goes nicely with our designer series paper, which also has little floral type patterns in it. So we're just going to put a few things together here, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritties. So I'm going to just, oh, I always turn it over and go, look how pretty this one is too. I really like this paper, by the way. This is a great summer into fall paper, I think. So I just have a little piece of 3x4 designer series paper matted on a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece of crushed curry cardstock. I'm going to make sure that I put this piece on the top of my gatefold. So it's just going to go on this top flap up here, and I'm leaving that nice little 1/8 inch mat all the way around, just making sure we're straight. There we go. So this is the top fold. This will be the bottom. So I'm just going to make sure I line up the, putting the adhesive on the right side. I have a new bottle of adhesive and that glue is coming out wicked fast. Very heavy glue today. So there we go. I like it when it comes out a little bit slower. It's less on my fingers. Okay, so we have this really cool gatefold right here, right? So we've got what looks like, we've got a little cut in the middle here, but it just looks like it's one continuous piece. And this part is going to only adhere to the top flap because we want to be able to open it. Obviously if we stuck it down, this card would not open at all, right? So when we get to that point, we're going to be very careful about that. But we're going to make a few decorations first. We're going to bring in the bow punch. This is one of my favorite punches. This one, the double oval, are my go-tos. So when I want to punch out some of these fun leaves, I make sure that I don't have too much paper to go into the side of my punch because I don't want to waste too much paper. So I cut this, I think, to 1 3/4. I probably could have gotten away with 1 1/2. But I'm just going to punch out 2 of these little leaves. And how fun is it to actually, as it gets snagged, I'm just going to trim here a little bit and trim again. How fun is it to cut designer paper though? A lot of times we don't think about cutting designer paper with our punches. And I have some jammed up in here. I'm just going to make sure it's all out. That is one way to jam up a punch for sure. All right, so we're going to put this back in. We're getting another leaf out of here. So we've got the 2 leaves. We've got some scraps. And I do need, so again, I've got a narrow strip here. You can see that I've punched out 2 of these little sprigs. So I'm just going to bring this back in here and punch out 2 more sprigs. Oh, I can tell there's paper jammed in here. See, the Thursday plaggies are upon me. Okay, let's see. Right in there, it's jammed in. Of course. My normal fix for the jam is just to continue to punch it until it's free of paper, but that one was really stuck in there. All right, let's try this again. Here we go. The little sprigs we're just doing in white cardstock. So I'm just gonna get 2 of these, just like that. Now it's punching nicely. We are good to go. And we've got our 2 little sprigs, lots of scraps left over. So your scraps are always really important. You can do so much with them. So we need those little scraps. We need a scrap of white to do our Hi Friend sentiment. And this is going to be inked up in Calypso Coral. So we're going to do the Hi Friend. Super cute, right? And on the inside, this is our insert. So it's just your basic 4 by 5 1/4. I've got my inside sentiment. I'm using the same color ink. I'm not getting real fancy with decorating the inside, although I can think of many ways that I could. So just 1 ink color for that. Some nice continuity. So actually, let's put our inside, we'll put our insert in now. Then there's less stuff floating around on the crafty desk, right? So adhesive, and on the inside, making sure that we are in the right direction. Always important to make sure you're going in the right direction. And there we go. So this is our inside insert, basic, right? For that. Now I would use the little heart punch, and I would punch out my Hi Friend, right? Punch out. This is a die, Julie. We're going to die cut that. And when we get done die cutting it, look at how cute that is, right? So I've got the Hi Friend. I have a very old retired Stampin' Up punch that just punches a very small hole. And I've already got some threads started because, you know, I'll probably struggle with that too. So we've got that started for our cards. You can see what we have left to do, right? We have to play with ribbon. Now this is pool party ribbon, and it's not maybe a color you thought would necessarily go with these colors, but look how pretty it is. Like, I would not have picked it out. Again, this is a design from the Stampin' Up catalog, and we are going to be ribbon heavy here. I'm going to recommend about 20 inches. 12 plus, I'm going to do 8. Yes, 12 plus 8 is about 20. I don't think I used 20 previously, but I kind of struggled then with my ribbon. So if you cut too short of a ribbon, it just makes things too hard, right? So we are going to wrap the ribbon around this piece that we're going to put on. So you can see on the back here, if I show you the back, the ribbon is wrapped all the way around. So we're going to wrap the ribbon right about in the middle. And I'm going to make a little bow here on the side. So I'm just going to, I'm going to work on this for a minute or two. This is the quiet time. Julie's making a bow. We can do this though. I can do this. A big girl. Got this. I got the bow going. Okay. And it does help to have the extra ribbon, because then you can straighten it up, make it pretty, trim off the excess, all of the good things, right? So here's my bow. Obviously long here, but I'm going to trim that. And I'm just making sure it's nice and straight in the back. I'm pulling it down just a little bit. Okay, let's bring in the scissors, and we're going to just kind of trim some of this at a nice little angle. And I am going to bring in a glue dot. Now notice I have not used any adhesive to hold this ribbon down. So I'm just going to tuck a glue dot underneath here. So at least there's one spot where my ribbon is secure. Now it'll still wiggle on the sides a little bit, which is fine. And if you wanted to, you could add a glue dot on the back as well. And now we're going to add in our leaves. Now with the leaves, I like to trim off the ends, these little pointy ends, because they're really not going to show in the design, and they just kind of stick in there and jam things up a little bit. So we're just going to add a little bit of adhesive here, not too many, just a couple spots on here. I like some of the leaves to be a little bit flowy and loose. So we're going to pop a leaf there, and we're going to pop one down here to the side, if I can keep it in my hands. Oh, this is fun. Thursdays are fun. I don't know why. My Monday shows usually go really well, and I shouldn't say that, right? Because I'm probably jinxing myself. Anyway, crafty time is always fun. We're going to put a little bit, again, a little bit of adhesive here on the white, and this one's going to come this way. Kind of come this way. You can barely see it. It's kind of tucked in over here behind the ribbon. This time it might stick out a little bit more. Every card that I make does not match the card that I made previous, right? That's the beauty of the homemade. They are very unique. Nothing is ever placed exactly in the same spot. Turns out exactly the same. I mean, we don't want that to happen anyway. So here we are, we've got this nicely decorated. We're gonna bring in, this is twined up here with the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. So I've used the crumb. You can see how much I've used. I love this Baker's Twine Essentials. I'm actually missing a color. I think the white. White has been sold out. I used all the white up. All right, so this is gonna actually come around the bow here, and then we're going to tie another bow. So I've challenged myself here to tie a couple of them today. And we're gonna just kind of loop that around here, not too tight because we want to be able to manipulate it as needed. The real challenge is the sticky fingers that I have from the glue that's holding onto this twine in interesting spots. There we go. I probably could have been a little bit more generous on my twine too, but we're gonna work this out. And we're going to move this back up a little bit. So this little bow just kind of comes up here and is just wrapped around this one, just like so. Okay, so we are going to make an adjustment here and tie that back down. Actually, we're starting over. You guys are like, what? Don't start over. No, we're starting over, and I'll tell you why. I think I'm going to wrap this underneath. Maybe I'll leave a little knot there. I'm going to wrap this underneath the entire ribbon, and I think that's going to be a little bit more secure. So I can get this up and over. We will do it. Okay, we're doing it. I've threaded this up and over. This is going to work out better. When I make these cards, I make one. I practice one time. So it's kind of like the one-time practice, and then I'm going live with it. Let's see what happens. So there's always the chance that I run into some extreme problems. Not like I practiced a card lots and lots and lots of times till I can do it in my sleep. And these are all, like, if you're following me, every card I come on and do is a little bit different, sharing different things. Okay, now we're cooking here, I think. We're gonna add a dimensional in behind this hello friend or hi friend, and then it's gonna stay nicely, right? This is just gonna pop on here. So I'm just putting a dimensional on the back, take that off, and then you can kind of manipulate where you want the hi friend to be. And I want it to be right about there. Now my bows are not perfect, but for the sake of the video, I'm not gonna keep playing with them for the next 20 minutes, right? So we have really pretty awesomeness going on. So I'm going to turn this over. This is my back side. So pretty. I love when you can flip something over, see the back side, but it's still really pretty. And that was with the by wrapping the ribbon rather than cutting it and leaving it taped on the back. Then someone would turn it over and go, oh, they cut this short and they taped it, right? So there are 3 on the back of my little panel. I'm going to put 2 of these dimensionals right on the top flap. So I've got 2 of them. I know they're really, really hard to see. In my picture that I did for the newsletter, look, I made little eyes out of them. So you can see them here. So obviously they're white on white. So there's 2 right there. And that's just going to catch right about here as I put this down, like so. So let's see how this turns out. We're wrapping this one up, although I do have some bling to show you and my other cards. So stick with me just a little bit longer. Oh, I probably should undo these dimensionals that I colored on there briefly. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to just center this piece on the front of our card. And we should be good. We should be good. Okay, yep, we're opening it up and look at, beautiful. So the ribbon just lays on the side so nicely, and then we've got this nice flap that opens up like that. Now the last thing we're going to do to decorate this card is work with our rhinestones for just a quick minute. And the rhinestones are your free gift. If you spend $50 in my online store this week, I'm giving you the rhinestones plus your 6 card kits from Monday. And you're going to get $5 bonus bucks from Stampin' Up, so you can use that in August. So that's a really good deal this weekend. Thank you if you've ordered with me. I appreciate it so much. Your card kits will mail on Monday, and then you'll also be getting the tutorial PDF directions in an email. So if you can see the color difference here, I just colored this with my Stampin' Blend. Now, this is so fabulous. You can make your little rhinestones in any colors you want. You just have to be careful not to press too hard so that you don't ruin your nib when you color them. And because this is a permanent ink, it will stay. It will not like bleed off. Actually, I want to use this tip. So we have some pretty, like just like that. I could have put silver on, that would have been nice too, but how fun is it to pick a color that's in your card scheme and add that little bit of bling. So there they are. Hi friend, aren't those gorgeous cards? Absolutely gorgeous. All right, before we go, I'm going to just bring up messages here really quickly. Patty says it's Thursday. Debbie, thank you. So pretty. Hi Connie. Good to see you. Hi, Carrie. Yes, this is a really awesome color combination. Not one that I would have thought of necessarily. So I'm really glad that this card worked out so beautifully. And again, you're going to have the recipe in your newsletter within a couple of hours, probably. Going to get that done. Let's talk briefly about the my July Card Maker Collective Club, because I have forgotten to really talk about this as much. This is the Horse and Sleigh bundle, which is currently in the online store. So it's a really exciting bundle, and we're doing a little bit of Christmas in July. So my Card Maker Collective Club is ribbon, embellishments, half a pack of paper, which happens to be this really beautiful one horse open sleigh paper, and the bundle is optional. So if you are a demonstrator, you want to get this Card Maker Collective Club, you don't have to get the bundle through me. You get it by yourself. Save your 20%, your 25%, whatever your discount is, but you will get some consumable products, and you're going to get 8 card kits. So let's take a look at the 8 card kits really quickly. Let's start out with, I'm teasing you here, right? This one. So I'm showing you some different ways that you can use the One Horse Open Sleigh bundle. So we've got this card, which features gray granite, right? So that's our red card. That's our red feature with the embossing with the sleigh. This one is more of the outline. This one is Elisa's favorite one. So you're going to make 2 of each of these. You are going to, and then I challenged myself to do some portrait. Now a lot of the, when you're using the sleigh, you have to go horizontal because it's so big. But I wanted to do at least 2 portrait cards. So I used the bunny in the tree. So this is a nice wintry, got some vellum on there. So you get 2 of that one, and you get 2 of this one. And in this one, I cut off the sleigh. These guys are waiting for their horses to be hitched. So I've used the Music Notes embossing folder on these, so you're going to get embossed pieces. This one has the timber embossed piece on it. You will be cutting your own designer paper from your paper pack, but that's kind of a sneak peek look at the July Card Maker Collective Club. So if you're interested in that, the signups run through July 15th, although I may extend them to like the 17th. So that is a little bit with the Card Maker Collective Club. And if you do grab July's kit and you want to get the bundle with me, I do offer the basically my demonstrator discount. You get it for catalog price. So you don't have to pay tax or shipping. So you're just going to get it for the, I think the online price actually is what I mean to say for that one. So that was our Thursday at 3. That was a sneak peek with the July Card Maker Collective Club. We're going Christmassy for July. I'm really excited. I will be sharing some more Christmas cards really, really soon. And of course, look for that email from me later today with the recipe for our Fun Fold card. So thanks so much for spending some time with me, everybody. I appreciate it. If you have any questions on the card that I made today or the July kit, please let me know, and I will see you back again next week. So until then, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, everybody.